From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gary Kissell.
Hi, Gary and Keith. How are you guys doing? Well, I would say, Jacob, that we are doing pretty good.
We are doing good.
It
could be a lot worse.
Can you see over on the right-hand side people messaging?
No, I can't see any of the messaging. So
that's because I'm special. I have special skills on the interwebs.
Okay, we'll go with that.
What's going on, Jacob? How are you doing? Yeah, nothing. Let's see if anybody shows up. We got Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge that's planning to join us here.
Cool.
We don't do live streaming, so this is just kind of a first.
This is new for us, and so
yeah, we tried it like over a year ago, and I was not happy with it. And,
well, you know what? It seems right that we have someone like Tom come and help us with this attempt at going live again, and hopefully it'll be a little more successful and entertaining this time around.
Oh, what did Jacob just say? Yeah, mentally special, laid off from work. Wow. I'm assuming that's because of the virus. Yeah, things are weird. I am in isolation. I'm not leaving this room unless I absolutely have to. I'm isolating myself from. It's like, but Deanna, like, hugged and kissed me last night, and then I took one of these and wiped everywhere that she touched. I do not fucking want to get this virus. Don't want to get it.
Yeah, I understand.
Jacob, hey man, we're friends on Facebook, as I recall, aren't we, Jacob? Yeah, there you are, Jacob Webb. Das Wolfen, wann gehen Sie bitte? Wie geht es Ihnen?
Hey, thanks for asking. And yeah, I think we're keeping about as safe as we can. So
yeah, Jacob the Critic, you're my buddy on Facebook, right? Jacob Webb. Let's see. We are keeping safe. If you didn't hear my story, my girlfriend touches me last night, gave me kisses and a hug, and I used this to wipe off afterward. People think that I'm kidding when I go, I am a germaphobe. I'm not fucking kidding. I'm a germaphobe. I have not heard of any cases in Greene County. So what are you hearing? And also, Keith, Jacob asks, yes, do you think VisionCon will be canceled?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, again, it's far enough out that it's right there on the edge.
I think the next 4 weeks are going to tell us a lot.
I think there are two things that it's going to be very dependent on. It'll depend on what the board has to say, and it'll depend on what the city of Springfield has to say. So we'll find out. Now, I would like to see VisionCon go on this year.
Yeah, because we're going to be there as media covering the event. And we have a table. Keith secured that. And we'll probably bring some tasty wares. And when I say that, I don't mean actual food. I'm talking about like comics and some of my artwork.
Yeah.
So
if you're really lucky, he'll even sign a few things for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I get so lazy. It's hard to. Do I have to?
You're a big star now. You must sign.
Yeah. You know what? You're doing James Hong, and I got to go back in time, back in the '90s, and back in the time when there was answering machines, and it was like 1999, and I got this weird phone call one day. I come home and there's like this long message on there, and I start playing it, and it's from James Hong because of my involvement with
actor James Hong.
Actor James Hong, because of my involvement with BladeZone.com, the Blade Runner fan club. And this is what the message was. He goes, hello, Gary. This is James Hong. I only do eyes. And I'm like, that was the most deranged thing I ever heard, but he is a lovely, hilarious dude. He's really funny, and one of the I lost this Gary Willoughby, who runs Blade Zone now. He and I both had James Hong's phone number, and we lost him.
Well, if anybody knows James Hong.
James Hong. Now that really pisses me off to no end. Okay, you sent me the link. I see it here. KY3 Springfield. Here, let me see if I can share this. Share screen. Yes, share screen. What screen do I want? I want to Green County. Yes. Oh, stop doing James Hong, Gary. Christ. I only do eyes. Springfield Green County Health Department informs community of potential COVID-19 exposure. Oh, joy. That's it, Keith. See, Keith and I are high risk. I'm diabetic and I have asthma. So, but I do have one thing going for me. I'm O positive. So type O blood is actually somewhat resistant to the COVID-19 virus, according to virologists and some of the medical specialists that I've seen reports from CDC to the World Health Organization.
So basically, I'm done for. So it's been nice knowing everyone, and like you know that.
Well, I keep joking. I've joked many times. I said with because hold on, Jacob asked a question. What did he say? How could you lose a phone number? It was the '90s and the early 2000s, before mobile phones for me, and that's how. Plus, I went through an ugly divorce, and things happen. You know, I lost a lot of stuff in the divorce. Just got misplaced, thrown out. I have an entire tub of family photos that go back to the 1800s. Gone, because somebody decided to throw it out because it didn't matter.
Even lost a random Wednesday. I mean, that's bad.
I will gladly have a Wednesday and pay you on Tuesday. Popeye joke, sorry. I don't know if that fell flat. But anyway, this is this is the reality. Personally, if I did not have diabetes and asthma, I wouldn't give a fuck about this disease. I really wouldn't. I mean, I would still quarantine. If I got infected, I would fucking avoid people because I don't want to be a person that passes it to another human being
that could actually suffer from it.
Yeah,
and that's the thing.
Yeah, Das Wolfen is also on lockdown, and A blood type. Yeah, buddy, A blood type. That will do it to you, bro. That will fucking do it to you. A blood type. A blood type is the most delicious blood, apparently, to this virus. Now, I'm going to talk to you from my experience in the medical field is that, and so when I'm reading these journals and stuff, I actually understand what's going on. Oh, hey, wait a second. Anders just replied to me. Just told him that we're going live and wanted to invite him. He's like, I said, "Are you still awake?" And he goes, "Just barely." Why? I said, I told him that you and I are on live right now. So we're trying to get Andre from Midnight's Edge, and hopefully Tom from Midnight's Edge will be joining us too. I'm very friendly with those guys. Really, just really likable people. And I like the fact that Andre knows who I am because he read the Iron Sky graphic novel.
You made a fan.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a fan, but I hope he is. I hope he liked it. But going back, basically, you know, when you hear about viruses, you have certain kinds of viruses. You can very intelligent, high IQ viruses, like the flu virus, is it evolves, it modifies, it changes its ways, its behavior, it mutates. This is something that apparently the COVID 19 doesn't VD COVID doesn't do. It's as one virologist called it, it's a really dumb virus. It's very blunt, thuggish in its behavior.
It's a bad seed.
Where is Dangerous Nerds? Let me show that on the screen there. Hey, where exactly is Dangerous Nerds headquarters? We're in the underground bunker.
The caves.
We're here
Southwest Missouri caves.
Southwest Missouri. I am in Joplin now. And Keith Areno is still in Greene County over at in Springfield. He's close to the courthouse. I am actually on Joplin Avenue in Joplin. And it's really nice here. Rained like hell last night. So
that's what it does, you know.
But this virus is really focusing on specific people because a lot of people are going to get this and not even know they're freaking sick.
Yeah.
Because the more healthy they are, I don't want to say younger because of the fact that actually little kids like toddlers, kids whose immune system haven't fully kicked in yet, anywhere from newborn to I would guess early toddler, is maybe open to this. Anybody with a suppressed, depressed, or non-existent immune system, this thing's deadly.
Yeah.
And of course, diabetics fall into that category because we have a depressed type 2 diabetes in particular. It affects our immune system. So we're more susceptible. And on top of that, it's harder for us to fight them once we get them.
And asthmatics are also very, very susceptible to the
fucking asthmatics. What the hell's wrong with them? I don't know. Oh, what a hit. I'm so high.
Anything that can reduce your lungs capacity to actually take in air is very, very dangerous. And I'm hearing 20% is what this thing could do, and 20% for some people is way beyond where they should go if they want to live. Especially anybody that's on oxygen. I mean, just anybody that has lung scarring of any type. And again, what I'm hearing now, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, this stuff will also kind of mess up your lungs at the same time. So it could actually help to scar or further scar your lungs.
And of course, and that disease is called scardosis. The scarring of the lungs from, usually it's caused like when you're in industrial jobs and inhaling particles. But this apparently does a similar thing to the lungs. And but I'm hoping that Andre is able to join us because I'm curious how things are going where he's at there in Europe. It's so weird what's going on globally right now. I was talking to my mate over in England night before last, Ricky Cheka. He's an East Ender. He's got a thick accent. Whenever we traveled together, I was his translator because nobody understood what the hell he was saying. His accent is so thick. Of course, when he talks to me, I never have trouble understanding him because I lived over there and I'm used to it. And but Ricky was telling me that puff puff pass, Gary. Jacob just said. And I'm trying to figure out Joblinception. I'm not sure what that means. Joblinception? Das Wolfen wrote Joblin-ception. Oh, Andre's here. Hello, Andre.
Hello, greetings, gentlemen. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad.
About as well as can be expected.
Yeah.
The big question is, how are you? I mean, what's it like over there?
Well, it's unusual. I guess it's pretty similar to right where you are. I guess it's fairly unusual circumstances there too. Here it's like, well, basically everyone is in self-imposed quarantine, which is interesting that they've decided to shut all of society down. It's going to be fun when the bill to pay comes for that. But yeah. So no, actually the days are pretty busy because I'm working from home. Because I have like another job in addition to Midnight's Edge, and working from home, even if there's slightly less to do, it just takes more time in a way. Things that I could do in the office where I have like 3 computer screens, it just takes so much more time when it's just like one little laptop screen. So I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. I'm not any more efficient this way, let's say.
Yeah, it's like I was just telling him, my mate from England, we go back like 20 some years. We were talking night before last, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, mate, nobody's turned off the ports, they're just still coming in, leaving as they like.
Here we actually started to shut those down. Both the airports and the ports, like proper seaports, are both closed. So it's like all of society is shut down. I don't think I would live to see that. It's like living in a zombie apocalypse just without the zombies.
It's really strange. And I keep telling people, I said, 90% of you don't have to worry about this virus. It's like, it'll be like a sniffle at most. It's that small percentage of people that have depressed immune systems, like myself and Keith, because we're diabetic.
That we know of. Here's the scary thing, though. Oh, Tom is here too. Awesome.
Hey, Tom.
Hello.
Oh, this is so cool. Got both you guys here. We're just talking about the impacts of where we're at with this coronavirus and how it's impacting everybody.
Yeah, it's been pretty rough for some people. I know that.
What region are you in, Tom?
I'm from the northern Midwest, so we haven't been hit too bad here. So.
Oh, you're just up above us. We're down in Missouri, Keith and I.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, we were talking about the consequences, and yeah, you're right. 90% don't have to worry, at least that we know of. Here's the thing: this is like what's so insidious about it, is that we know so little because the Chinese numbers and the statistics that we get from there, we cannot trust. Simple as that. So we basically have to like start over with the European numbers, and the European numbers are, as you say, 90%. It's going to be fine unless you have some pre-existing condition. Like, for instance, you mentioned you're diabetic. That's probably not going to do wonders. Everyone who is smoking been advised to cut that shit out right away. And you also, like, for instance, in Spain, you had like this one super healthy guy who was diagnosed with leukemia recently, and he was just in his early 20s. He didn't make it. So if you have like another condition, But yeah, but in England and other places, you have some cases. You have like the very, very few people that are young and by all outwardly appearances healthy, and they still get mortally sick. So I'm not saying that those are many people, but still here we don't know yet. We don't know the final tally. That's what's so scary here. And we also don't know the long-term prognosis of those that recover, because this isn't a flu, this is SARS. It goes after the lungs. And those that require hospitalization, many of them may never fully recover to what they were before, which is a bit scary.
Very
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, and once again, for a majority of people, they may not even show outward signs of having this thing.
Exactly.
And that's the scary. The healthier you are, the less you're going to show, but you are going to be a carrier, and you can take it to somebody elderly in your family, or somebody with the suppressed immune system, or somebody with upper respiratory disorders like COPD, asthma, what have you. And incidentally and accidentally infect and potentially, well, I hate using the word kill, but that's the potential of this
Exactly.
thing.
And it's also like what's so scary about it is that the symptoms are almost identical to both the regular cold and the regular flu. Like for instance, right now my voice is slightly off because my
I
nose
noticed that.
is slightly congested. And that could be either because I have a common cold, which is the season for in Norway right now, so everyone has that, or it could be because I have this thing. I really don't know. It could be both. That's like the thing. So far, it feels like a cold, but we'll see in a week.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep tabs on you. Make sure you don't go dying on us. We don't need that.
Yeah, no, then that would be quite a lot of slack for Tom to have to deal with, isn't it?
I wouldn't know what the hell to do. I don't even have the keys.
My God. And it's like with Keith, I don't, he could go on without me. He's cool enough as a black guy.
Yeah, but the way my luck works, you'd get it, I'd still pass away, and you'd just be sick for the rest of your life. So
If I get infected, buddy, I'll just drive through your house and hit you.
I'm lucky because I'm a shut-in anyway. I work 24/7 basically, so
Ditto.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at all the time. I work here because I as an artist, I work on movies and I work at my desk. This is where I work.
and my
That's why-
car's been out of commission for a while, so I've been used to being stuck home and relying on my parents and shit to take me to the store and crap already. So
yeah. I work. Unfortunately, I work outside the house, so I have to be around people and.
those are the jobs that are rough. Yeah, I mean, and then you even wonder how much longer you're going to be working. Right now, if something gets shut down. Yeah.
Well, hopefully,
for
you'll
right now, I
continue
work
to
for a
be working
university.
again. Yeah.
And
Hopefully, you'll still be working in 3 months.
Well, he was stressed out about that shit today. Because everything's shutting down. Anything that's, because he works at MSU. And, of course, that's a state college. And they're shutting shit down. The state is. Left and right. So
They're even booting kids out of the housing, I heard. So around here, I know that.
I've not heard
Stuff
anything,
like that.
but I wouldn't be surprised. What is that like when the bartender tells you it's time to go? It's
closing time.
It's closing time.
Stuff like
Don't know
that
where
is
you're
what
going,
has
but
me
not
really worried. I like the virus and the pandemic with it. Yeah, that's a little bit scary. But what has me scared shitless is what's going to happen in the aftermath from basically shutting down the entire, not just the U.S., but the entire Western world, where the U.S. is the locomotive. U.S. and Germany, to be honest. And everyone else is pretty much freeloading. But even when the freeloaders are freeloading even more, then that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Now, did you two catch Gary Beekler's rant that he posted?
Which one?
The one about the comic industry, where at minute 5 he goes off on Marvel for releasing.
Oh,
I don't know if
with
I've seen that.
Snowflake
Yeah,
and,
I was gonna say I've been
Safe
talking
Space?
about that stuff with so many people the last few days. I probably haven't had a chance to see it. But oh yeah, I saw this thing and I'm like, you mean this isn't a parody? And then my second thought is damn it, they did it so somebody couldn't make a parody, and it's just a wasted opportunity now. And if anything, it just shows how woke Marvel has become and how low this thing is sunk. And basically what I keep pointing out, and people keep asking, how does this keep happening? How does this keep happening? They're not making any money. It's because there's no money men left in comics. They've all left. They don't have, like, in the movie industry and television, you're going to start seeing some changes because the money people are going to go, where's my money? You're not making me any money.
Yeah.
There's not any of those people left in the comic industry. And the comic book, this is going to kill the comic book stores. Because the other thing I've been hearing, if that's the one you're talking about, I know Gary was ranting about that, where I guess a lot of the comic book shops are not getting return calls from DC and Marvel as far as what they're going to do about all these books.
That is it. That is exactly what he was ranting
DC,
about.
Marvel, and Diamond are not returning any phone calls.
Now, in his graphic, he included IDW, but I don't recall him saying anything about them during his video. And I'm friends with Tom because at IDW, he and I go back a long ways. And he posted a picture today from IDW that nobody's there. It's just him. It's like they're getting impacted by this. I don't know what's going on at Marvel, DC, but it is embarrassing that they would not respond to these booksellers, any of these resellers. And on top of that, would post stuff pro-selling their own material to the booksellers who are not going to be able to sell these books because they're going to be shutting down. And on, St. Patrick's Day, released the news on this new comic that just is idiotic at best.
Either it was poorly timed and they just didn't stop it from getting released, or they were trying to do it at a time they thought it would get overlooked by all this other news, because they probably know the stinker they got on their hands. But again, these people are a lot of times completely ignorant of the rest of the world living in this little bubble, so again, it's just sad because this comic book sounds like something EVS would have made as a straight up parody comic. And that's the sad part, with all these main characters as the heroes, and then your villains would be all nasty white men. And it would have been just hilarious. But now I just look at this thing, my jaw hits the floor, and I'm just like, I
thought it was a parody.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing, though. I would not be surprised if the writer has written it completely dead serious from his point of view, and still to everyone else it's going to come across as a parody.
No, did you see his interview, Andre? You must not have. He's completely dead serious.
Yeah, he's dead serious. He's a big peanut head. He's got a giant peanut head.
I got that, and that's why I'm thinking that
he's owning. He's like, we're going to take back these slurs and bad names.
Yeah, we're going to own them.
You know what I'm thinking then? You remember South Park? Back before Mr. Garrison had like the sex change and he was just gay in the closet, and he was going to write this erotic novella to show everyone what an ultra manly man, macho man he was.
And it just kept getting gayer and gayer.
Yeah, and it got gayer and gayer, and it was like awarded the gayest book ever written.
It was
this
really
might
funny.
Be something like that. This guy, he's probably
I'm not gay.
serious, and he's a true believer in all of those things, card-carrying SJW, and the book that he writes is going to be written from that perspective. So to everyone who does not share his ideology, it's going to come across as a parody. I honestly, we'll see when it comes out. But I wouldn't be surprised if EVS couldn't have done a better parody than this guy doing something serious.
That's exactly my point.
His unintentional parody. And here's my stance on that. I think that everybody should have whatever they want. It's like, if you want a SJW comic book, write an SJ comic book and sell it to your kindred mindset. But stop taking comics that were not meant to be that way and making them that way. It's like, I don't understand that mindset of wanting to take over everything. And it's a very, I'm going to use the word, fascistic way of approaching things.
Well, we did a video recently where, I mean,
What,
Rob
you guys do
and-
videos?
Yeah, well, where Rob and I have used similar analogies in the past, but one of Andre's friends really broke it down really well using the similar restaurant analogy. And if you have seen that video, then you know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I do suggest checking it out. But yeah, it's just a little quick, like 3-minute story where he goes through basically how a restaurant that changes what it does and
Steakhouse.
tells the
You start
customer,
out with
yeah, and tells
and
the
they want to
customer
serve
that
you fish.
because they know what's best for you.
That's right.
It's that whole nanny attitude of, people need to be guided. They need to be shown at all times that they're the shepherds and we're a flock. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's a very totalitarian attitude, if you ask me.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's why I brought in the word fascistic, because I feel that, because I've gotten into discussions with some of my lefty friends, not my liberal friends, because Keith here is a liberal, but he's not like that. He is not a progressive, annoying lefty. He is. We don't agree politically on a lot of things, but I don't think you and I've ever had a fight.
No, because
We've disagreed, but we've never ever argued. But
we love talking to each other, and that's the thing. It's a genuine bond with us because we have so many things that actually make us good friends, and so many ways that we are way too much alike, both in thought and
Right.
in certain things that we do like. So
and oddly, when it comes to things like this, we agree completely. And it's proof that liberals aren't the problem; it's leftists that are the problem.
Absolutely, because basically the thing right here is that these people, I hate to use the term, I only use it because you guys in the States use it all the time, these SJWs, we've had this type in Europe before, when they were brown shirts, and they were often labeled neo-Nazis and stuff like that. And basically they are totalitarian extremists, and then it's just a matter of which ideology happens to be in the wind that they can adopt right there and then. And these people that right now are like this, if they had been in Europe in the 80s, they would have been skinheads and neo-Nazis, because that would have catered to their authoritarian impulses. It's as simple as that. It has nothing to do with if they're on the left or on the right. These are people that are prone to extremism. These are people that want to rule over you and that have a need to tell others what to do. That doesn't really matter which side of the political scale you are on, because those people with those traits, they will find whichever ideology and whichever direction that suits their need to control others. And in the States right now, that happens to be very, very, very far to the left. So far to the left that it almost takes a turn and becomes the extreme right again. Whereas those exact same people in Europe in the 80s, they would have been brown shirts. They would have been skinheads on the extreme right.
Yeah,
you are so right.
Yep, and this is the thing that I talk about, because I'm a student of history. My father was a historian, and he fed me on nothing but history as a kid. And in fact, moved me to Fredericksburg, Virginia, because it's one of the most historic towns in the country. And my God, he always taught me that fascism is neither left nor right. It's a behavior that is adopted by whoever wants total control.
Exactly, and that's why also the totalitarianism and authoritarianism is a better word than fascism.
I agree. Plus, it sounds cooler when you say that.
Yeah, because like fascism, that's very, very specific to a certain brand of totalitarianism in Italy in the 1930s, and not really anything else. But totalitarianism is universal, and that's what this is. That's what
the problem is a lot of these younger kids like to. Well, I hate to say kids because it's not just kids; it is some adults too. But this movement, let's say, likes to twist meanings, especially like fascism, or
Oh, yeah.
fascists.
Well, that's
Fascists.
what
They
they
like
do.
to pin it on, the typical corporate pig, as they would put it, or whatever. Or in the case of the boomer, now all of a sudden boomer means anybody over 30. It's like, I'm sorry, but that's not what a baby boomer is. It's
Well, anyway, that's what narcissists do, isn't it? That they twist and they turn things around and they project. So the things that they themselves are guilty of, they are the first to pin on others.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Classic transference is what that's referred to in psychology,
Exactly.
where, I see that constantly from them. The thing that they're alleging that you're doing, they're actually the ones doing it. And you just sort of sit there and go, am I the only one seeing this? But
Yeah,
with
pretty much.
these current conditions with the comic industry, because I work in the comic industry, and I'm constantly worried about it. And in fact, I kind of slowed down my career intentionally because I really, last year, I started seeing this downward spiral and just thought, I'm going to hold back for a while and see what's going to happen here. And now with this virus, we're seeing shops that are going to get closed. And that's what Gary was talking about, that are probably not going to be reopening at the end of this.
Yeah,
Totally.
many of these businesses are operating paycheck to paycheck, and so they are on the verge anyway. So this current thing that we have going on does not help one iota, and actually helps to act as an accelerant to what's already happening with these mom and pop comic book stores across the United States. So this is not going to go well at all.
No, and that's what has me really worried. But gentlemen, it was a pleasure to be here, but we have to be leaving. At least I have to be leaving.
I am honored to have both you guys on here.
Yeah,
It is an honor.
you guys popped our cherry on our first live broadcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic! Congratulations on your first
Yeah,
live
congratulations.
broadcast. May there be many, many more.
I hope
we
so.
hope to have.
And anytime you guys feel like we might be an interesting ad to yours, please let us know, because we love you guys.
Oh, absolutely! Thank you so much. We're always
You guys are
honored to hear
fantastic.
that. Thank you so much.
Later,
All
Andre. Be safe.
Take care,
Tom,
guys.
Likewise,
You
take care
leaving,
of
Tom?
yourself and good luck with the rest of the stream.
It's nice meeting you. Just keep in touch.
Yeah, bye.
All right, bye, guys. That was awesome
Wow.
having those two on.
That was really cool. Live chat is just going insane right now.
Yeah, we got 7 people. That's not insane.
Compared to the last time we attempted this, we didn't really have very many people there. So this is insane compared to the last time. So thank you.
But Sporking News Podcast. Can you send me a private message and send me your link? And we can maybe. Would you like to join in the chat today? Are you up to it? Let's sit quietly and just wait for him to respond.
Delay.
Dead air. No, just dead air.
Well, here's a big question, and this is now, in my opinion, the question. So, which of these companies, Marvel or DC, do you think will be the first one to go?
Well, I think they're both. I mean, they've got the intellectual properties going for them when it comes to merchandising and for licensing and film and TV. So they're not going to go anywhere as far as a company. But as far as publishing goes,
Yeah, publishing.
we've seen the writing on the wall for a while. And comics are just dying. They're putting out shitty products. They're putting too much money into the paper and not enough into the writing. I mean, the paper is one of the most expensive parts of their publishing.
Mhm.
And why does every page? Let's go back to newsprint. I loved comic print,
Right?
comics when they were printed on newsprint.
The look and feel of newsprint. Oh, this would be so much better with newsprint.
And Das Wolfen just said DC AT&T will be looking to farm it out after 5G fails.
Yeah, but I mean, who's going to get to it first? Now, my opinion, I think it'll be Marvel. DC will be the first that you hear about, but Marvel probably would have beat them by about a month. Because Disney's just like that. You know, everything that has happened with Marvel, you've not really heard too much about. Not many people seem to, you don't hear about that getting into the official news media easily. Every time DC, traces outside the lines, you hear about it. So, in my opinion, it'll probably be Marvel will be first, but DC will make the headlines with whatever they do. I think this is definitely just going to be bad. And again, for all of those fans that are still doing Marvel versus DC, you got to understand that the fates of both companies are now tied. Whoever is first, the other company is going to look at what happens and say to themselves, gee, I think that's a good idea. I think we should do that. So it's not really going to take that long, no matter who is first. It's not going to take that long for both of them to wind up in the same boat, probably by the end of the year, if not sooner. The other question is, who do you think is going to benefit once whatever happens with DC or Marvel happens?
Well, I'm going to tell you, we don't know who will, but I have a distinct feeling that someone will move up. We may finally also see Diamond lose the control that it is accrued over the years, because I put a lot of the blame on Diamond for the way the comic book reseller market has been ruined.
Yeah.
Brian, ruined. And I dislike
50%, in my opinion. They get 50%.
I would say
solid.
at least half. At least half. I think that they have been the driving force behind the change in how the resellers are treated, and why resellers are struggling, and why resellers have failed. And you and I have friends who have failed because of what Diamond does. They make it damn near impossible. You look at vintage stock, which I know Das Wolfen and well, Jacob's gone now, but Jacob both have gone to vintage stock, I'm sure. All of those stores now only have a pocket of comics. The rest of it is other shit, because comics just aren't lucrative for them.
Yeah. You're just you're focusing on nothing but reselling and not even doing new comics.
The problem that they're having, and what Gary was going over, is the fact that, like, unlike book resellers, like any bookstore, when a book doesn't sell, they pull it off the shelf. And they've been doing this since I was a kid, because that's how I used to get books for free. I'd go behind the bookstores and get the books that didn't have covers. Yeah. And I'd go through the dumpster looking for books, dumpster diving for books, and looking for books that I want to read.
Yeah.
And because they would tear the cover off and put all those covers in an envelope, and they'd ship it off to the publisher. And they didn't have to pay for those books. The reseller didn't. But Diamond makes these comic resellers, pay for these books. Even if they don't sell, nobody wants them. So they're not, I'm going to tell you right now, even if the comic book stores are open, I guarantee you, a very small percentage are going to order these SJW books that Marvel just announced, whatever the hell that thing's called. But they put stipulations on now. This is where they put the stranglehold on the resellers, by telling them, this is like earmarking in politics, when you see senators earmark a bill and add other stuff to it. It's like, no, one bill, one item. That's it. Comic books. If Marvel or if Diamond wants to push these comics, then they need to stop doing this practice of making the comic book store pay for these comics that they don't want.
Yeah.
And that don't sell.
You know, the previews catalog that they put out, 75% of that catalog is all print comics. The other quarter of that is everything else.
Right.
All of the toys, all of the action figures, all of the T-shirts, caps.
You've got
sunglasses.
that preview, but pull that up and explain to them again what you explained earlier.
Yeah, I got that somewhere, probably under the chair.
Yeah.
But I mean,
the book's like this thick, but only this much matters.
Yeah, of the stuff that is not an actual comic book itself. That's 75% of it. But of that, a good chunk of that is DC Comics and Marvel, and the rest is everyone else. And I'm telling you right now, I think any company that decides to make the transition over to newsprint and start trying to develop a relationship with some of these shops on their own would probably survive Diamond being let go. Now, I don't think it's going to happen all at once. I think it's going to take a while for whatever happens to Diamond, the betterment of the comic book industry. It's going to take a while for Diamond to lose their grip. My thing would be, I hope that many of these companies decide to just start forming their own relationships and making it possible to just directly go to the stores rather than going through Diamond. Because really, when you think about it, Diamond is a middleman. And they're making bank being a middleman. And what they've done, again, is directly affect how all these comic shops are operating. And as long as they are continuing to have that kind of an effect, you're going to see things just continue to go the way that they are. And it's not really like you're seeing too many of these other publishers moving up, jockeying for position to be the next one. As of right now, Image is in a really good place as a comic book company. They can easily benefit from having Marvel and DC do something different. Other publishers are also looking to move up, but my view is, wouldn't it be better just to go ahead and form relationships with a lot of these, mom and pop stores anyway? Plus it'll allow you to hear. Used to be, forming relationships would allow you to understand what the people that run these shops think. And while it is easy to think that through Twitter, through email, and other ways, you can hear from individual fans, if you just wanted to get a general feeling, the people that actually run the comic book shops would have a better way of communicating that. Because as of right now, I guarantee you, both Marvel and DC are getting a lot of what they think about fans partially from Diamond. And that's sad. It really is. Again, I know there are a lot of people that work for Diamond. And the actual individual workers and everyone else, I got nothing against you guys, but seriously, uh, there have been a lot of complaints and a lot of people that have gone out of business because of dealing with Diamond. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
uh,
Diamond is just period is a
I
villain in
should
this
say
story.
allegedly dealing with Diamond. Let me at least put that in there.
I consider them a villain in the industry. They are not the good guys, and I'm sure there are good people that work for them. But overall, as a company, I consider them the villain of the story. Keith.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I agree.
I was afraid your screen froze for a second. I'm like, oh shit. Don't leave me alone. So let's see. Das Wolfen says the smaller imprints are making a lot better comics 9 times out of 10. I agree. Completely agree. I'm hoping that we start because another comic pro friend of mine, I don't know if it was Kelly Jones or who it was, said that God, I wish I could remember who said it. It might have been Chuck. I don't know, but one of them said today that basically that when one falls or if it all falls, there'll be something there to replace it. So this gives a chance for new blood. We could see new publishers start to build, because DC and Marvel have been top of the line for 70 some years. And now it's time for somebody else. And Diamond, I've always hated Diamond. I don't like the way they do business. I hated dealing with them when in my previous experiences with them through IDW and independent printing. They're very here's that word that Andre says so well, totalitarianistic.
I like the look. That's great, but I do love the way Andre says it. I mean,
He's got this cool freaking accent. I'm like, sometimes I just want to shut up and just listen to him talk. Yes, I dropped that sexy. Yeah, Andre, you're so sexy. But I don't know. I just kind of hope that this goes quickly rather than being a long drawn out death, because
you mean like how CBS just decided, hey, we're selling Simon and Schuster,
yeah, just out of the blue. I mean, that just came out of nowhere.
This is happening.
People, I don't think people realize how huge that was. That tells you the trouble that CBS is in.
Oh, it's print. And that's the thing about it. Anybody, look, if you're still one of those people that's into print, you are now officially on a very, very small island, because everything is going streaming. Anything that can be helpful to streaming right now is something that all of the major media players want to deal with. That's just the way it is. That's where we are right now, and I don't see that changing.
I don't either. What do you guys think? Well, let's hear from you guys. What do you think is going to happen here? I mean, do you think that the industry can survive all the mom and pop comic shops closing all at once? The only thing they have left is Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and what else is online? I guess, is Apple still big into selling books, or no? Did they move away from that?
I have no idea. Look. Apple right now is just they have too much money in their pocket. It's burning a hole, and they are looking to acquire. And it could be Disney. It could be CBS. Could be Sony. You don't know. While I do think there's a pretty good chance that it could be Disney. I wouldn't be surprised if Apple turned around and just decided just to pick up Sony. You know,
There's
and then try to do
yeah.
a deal with Disney. Look, Disney and Apple are connected. They are business. If Apple picked up Sony, and this is from a total nerd perspective, they could easily turn around and do a backdoor deal with Disney for the rights to Spider-Man. And I guarantee you it would not be a long, drawn-out negotiation. It'd be something where phone call, it's like, hey, you want this? The other person in the line goes, sure. Price, set the price, done deal. And Spider-Man is with the mouse. That's how quickly it would go.
Now, first, Dust Wolfen says they can't survive without the mom and pops, and I agree wholeheartedly on that.
That is true.
It's just they're slicing their own throat. And then he adds, "I'm hoping Apple buys Sony."
Well, I mean, again, it's Apple has more than enough money to probably buy Disney. So I mean, if you had your choice, which would you go with? You know, I just think that buying Sony, you can get a lot. You can get a lot of stuff with it, not as much as you would with Disney, but you get a lot of stuff with it. I mean, I can't see the government saying no to either deal because there is nothing that Apple has that would not make it something where okay, there's nothing that Apple has that they couldn't look at Disney or Sony or anyone else and say, we could use that. You know, they'd be able to use everything that Disney has. Same thing with Sony. So, you know, I look at it this way. If you're Tim Cook, which is cooler? You know, do you want to buy Disney and own Star Wars and own the Marvel characters and own Pixar? Or do you want to buy Sony? You know, I mean, that's, you know, you're not getting the game company. That still belongs to Japan. So this is just Sony Pictures, okay? The entertainment division. So whatever Sony owns, and there are a few things that they own. So I just think that ultimately, again, by the end of this year, things are going to look really different in the area of entertainment, especially nerd entertainment. Things are going to look real different. Long about the time that season 3 of Discovery hits is when things should start to look real different. So, yeah.
Yeah. So right now, Dust Wolfen wrote the rights to Spider-Man revert to Marvel if Sony gets bought, from what I understand. And yeah, that will happen.
Yeah, true. I didn't. Yeah, you're right. It would automatically revert. But there are other things that Sony has that I don't think Apple would mind having too much. Then again, I think Apple has enough money to basically do both, pull the trigger on both. I just don't think they'd be able to keep everything. You know, they'd have to get rid of a lot of the stuff with Sony in order to acquire Disney. And if they bought Disney first and then tried to turn around and buy Sony, you'd have to get rid of some of that Disney stuff. So if they did decide to buy both, they would buy Sony first, dump some of the stuff that they have, and then go ahead and get Disney. And you know they'll keep that library. They will keep that IP. They will keep all of that goody IP that they have. Ghostbusters, everything. They'll keep it. Apple would keep it. And then just merge that in with the complete entertainment library and IP of Disney. Ooh, oh, that's huge. Huge.
It's huge.
It's huge. Big.
Hold on. Can you see on the screen when I post their comments?
I can't see their comments, no.
No,
No.
on the screen with you and me. Can you see that window?
I can see Dust Wolfen that you
There.
set up here.
There you go.
But
I
can't.
That's his most recent comment. When I post that, that's the most recent comment.
Okay.
So there you go. Discovery 3, they've actually wrapped on, to my knowledge.
Yeah. No. What I mean is by the end of the year, that's when they're going to show it. Okay, that's when it will debut. Discovery, I think season 3 will start somewhere around November or December. So
I think the funniest news I heard recently was somebody had published, and I think Gary said something about it on his show. We got this covered. Said there was going to be a Discovery movie, Star Trek Discovery movie, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys are so stupid.
yeah, but I agree with Gary. I hope it's true
Because they can't hide when it fails. They can't hide.
They cannot hide when it fails. Again,
they can hide behind that. They can hide behind that paywall a little bit.
Only a little bit. The only difference is that Netflix and Amazon are willing to tell all they know, because they've about had it with CBS's Schadenfreude. So
yeah, and I am truly not a Schadenfreude type person, but I love watching people like Kurtzman, Ryan Johnson, and Chris Chibnall fail miserably. And I love watching these idiots that all they want to do is shit all over the things we love. And they're like, fuck you for loving it. Fuck you.
You know what? It is very dark right now for a lot of that stuff. But I will say this. It is not impossible to fix all the stuff that has gone wrong, even with Doctor Who.
I agree. You know, people keep saying,
ahead.
Well, people just keep saying the same thing over and over again that are big fans that don't like it. It's ruined. It's ruined, Brian, ruined. And it'll never be the same, Brian. And it's like, no, actually, Star Trek survived season 3. Star Trek Next Generation survived seasons 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. These properties can survive shitty freaking seasons. They can. And stupid shit. And you just slowly kind of write it away.
Yeah.
When you get smart people in there that know science fiction.
The great thing about the whole JJ and Kurtzman thing is that, look, whether they mean to or not, both Discovery and the Kelvin stuff are pretty much either tied or close to being tied. When CBS and Paramount get around to making the changes that they need to make in order to make money, once Secret Hideout goes, I think they can't really use any of the characters and stuff that they put together for Discovery. And I don't think they can easily use any of the stuff they put together for Picard, because that would give Secret Hideout, they'd get paychecks for that. They'd still be able to claim something. And it's the reason why making another Star Trek movie for JJ is not really an option that I think Paramount's looking at, because JJ would still collect a paycheck for that.
They would be insane if they were looking at that.
Yeah, so basically, once Discovery is done, all you Discovery fans, you're still going to have the adventures, but they'll be the adventures that, you know, as fans, you'll come up with. Basically, a lot of you young people out there are going to basically have to recreate what a lot of us original Star Trek fans went through when the original series went off the air. That 10-year gap there. You guys will have to do all that yourselves. But I will say this, I can't say never, but the chances of there being a revival of all of the Discovery stuff the same way that it happened for the classic original Star Trek, I don't see happening at this point. So, have at it, love it. If this is what you're into, that's fine.
Hold on, let's go. Let's pay attention to these comments.
Yeah.
The problem with Doctor Who is that they retconned everything about about Doctor Who, I guess what he's saying with the season storyline. One,
Yeah.
I didn't fucking watch this season. I don't give a shit what Chris Chibnall made. I didn't like the last season. They had like a handful of episodes that were halfway good. The rest were just garbage. And no, you can absolutely still retcon this shit and fix it.
Well, I don't even think you even have to retcon it. I can think of at least two ways that you can actually use it. And again, if you are someone that is big on what they're doing with Doctor Who right now, my two ways of fixing it would pretty much just give you pain. Because it would bring back everything the way that it was before and still use what you can actually try to pass off as some kind of storytelling for the current version of the Doctor. It's possible to do pretty much anything. Once you change everything out, once Chibnall's gone, it really is about the ability and talent of whoever takes over after Chibnall. And given the fact that Chibnall seemingly has no real talent, that's going to be pretty easy.
He's good at adapting other people's stuff. But once he's on his own, he's like Benny Weiss. Doesn't know what he's doing. His first season of Broadchurch was brilliant, but that's because he adapted the source material. And once he started venturing off on his own, season 2 is like, meh. And then the third season was just goofy. And
that's how bad Alex Kurtzman is, because he's not even that good. This is a guy who I've said before who has spent now get this. He has spent years telling people that he's not a Star Trek fan. Remember, the first JJ film, which he actually wrote the screenplay for, came out in 2009, which means they were filming it in 2008. So since 2008, this dude has been telling any who will listen that he's not a Star Trek fan, and still was able to get hired by CBS to run Star Trek. And given that, if you've been following the show and watching these episodes, you can tell pretty much this entire writing staff is not filled with anyone who truly is a Star Trek fan. There are people that look up stuff on Wikipedia and kind of use things. It's Star Trek for people that hate Star Trek, or Star Trek for people who love Star Wars. So
I don't know if you guys ever met Deanna. There's Deanna. She just, come back around, honey. You can say hello. She just came home from work. She doesn't want to be on live.
Oh, well, because I am looking like real crap.
I think you're beautiful. I love you.
Hold on, I can't have my work laid in a roll.
But anyway, well, we've been on for over an hour. We had Tom and Andre from Midnight's Edge on with us for almost 45 minutes. It was a lot of fun talking to those guys and talking about the industry and this damn disease. And and she's touching me, and I will be I will be wiping everything down that she touches on me. She kissed me on the cheek last night, and I took one of those Lysol wipes and wiped my face.
I know, but she loves you so much, man. She loves you so much.
He says, you love me so much. They're gonna love me to death.
Pretty much.
Dust Wolfen says hi, Deanna.
Hi.
So anyway, I guess we could pretty much start wrapping this up. I mean, I've had
Yeah.
fun. This is kind of fun. I'd like.
We'd like to do it again.
I don't know if everybody's here still. Who's still on here right now? Is it just Dust Wolfen? It says that Steve watching us right now. Yeah. Would you like to touch my monkey?
No. I don't need you to do that.
I mean, would you guys like to see us do this more? Maybe once a week? Dust Wolfen enjoyed it, yeah. Because Dust
Well,
Wolfen,
he's got taste.
he wants
Like
to touch
you
my
too.
monkey. He likes to touch my monkey, yeah.
Well, listen, it has been fun. We can't always guarantee that we'll be able to have guests like Tom and Andre, but I mean, I hope we've been entertaining for you, and hopefully we've at least imparted some knowledge or something.
I entertain, you impart knowledge. Unless it's something that's actually science or biology related.
Yeah, and then that's all you.
That's me. I know science stuff. And but Dust Wolfen said something. The sad part of the current Doctor Who, I like 13 and a couple of the companions. I even have 13 Funko Pops in my collection.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, big man. You can like whatever you want to like. It's just this stuff is badly written. That's all it is. I got nothing against Jodie Whittaker. I got nothing against any of the
I didn't at first, and then I got annoyed with her because she needs to close her goddamn mouth. I'm tired of her running around with her mouth open all the time like a codfish. Her constant expression is oh my god, I hate that. And I know that she played a part in some of this retconning of Doctor Who. She went right along with it, supported it, and for that I don't like her. I won't watch that season. Well, actually, one of my friends, I think it was Mike, the comics guy that does the lettering, fonts and shit. He convinced me to watch one episode this season. I watched part of one, and I got so aggravated I had to stop watching it. And I can't stand the writing. They don't have anybody that knows science fiction. Nothing.
And then that pretty much covers current CBS Trek. And again, it's sad to see. It really is sad to see. But again, this is fixable. Seriously, all of this is fixable.
Everything is fixable, except if you're dead, and then that's it. You're fucked.
Yeah.
Nobody can fix it. But it's like all those people that I used to think about this. This is how fucking weird I am as a kid. I used to think, I wonder how many fans died before Return of the Jedi came out and didn't get to see it. Because they had to wait 3 years. It's like, because it wasn't all kids. There was adults, and there were people that were getting cancer and other diseases that died before the movie ever came out, so they didn't know how it concluded. And that always bugged me. And that's why, like when I hear that there's this movie, but I got to wait so long, it's like, God, I hope I survive to see that. It's going to suck if I die before I get to see that movie. So,
yeah.
But thanks for coming by, everyone. We really appreciate it. Would you guys like to see us do this once a week or once a month? I guess Dust Wolfen is the only one responding now. Jacob left. And I think, what's his name left too? Sporking News Podcast. But he did subscribe to us.
Yes. And we thank you.
So
looks like Dust Wolfen is left.
He thinks once a week would be fine with him. Hey, Dust Wolfen,
we consider it.
Bring your friends. Tell somebody to come. We'd like to, have more people interacting with us. I mean, I enjoy you interacting. I mean, I'm fine with it. But it would be nice to have more people asking us questions because sometimes I feel like I'm pulling shit out of my ass. What do I say next? I don't know. That's what happens when you're, well, I'm not going to say the R word, but you're not functionally, intellectually
You know what?
operated.
You know what? As long as you're regular, you're good.
Oh, I'm regular all the time.
There you go.
And of course, I'm talking about poop. All right, guys. Hey, this is Pop Culture Minefield. That's Keith over there.
That's Gary.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.